Apple just did something it almost never does. It accidentally leaked its own products. And buried inside that list of upcoming devices, we found something that's going to shake things up. A brand new Apple TV 4K. Now, the last major update to the Apple TV came in 2022, and while it was a decent upgrade, it didn't really feel like a must-have. But this new version? It's a completely different story, and here's why. A huge leap in power. A15 versus A17 Pro the 2022. Apple TV came with the A15 Bionic chip, which was already fast for streaming and casual gaming. But the new model is rumored to ship with the A17 Pro chip, the same powerhouse that first appeared in the iPhone 15 Pro. And that matters more than you think. Why? Because the A17 Pro doesn't just make your menus load faster. It actually unlocks two major things: support for Apple Intelligence, Apple's big AI push, and the ability to run console-level games. Suddenly, Apple TV isn't just about Netflix, Disney Plus, or Apple Music anymore. It has the potential to be a hybrid device, both an entertainment hub and a light gaming console. Now let's be realistic. This doesn't mean the Apple TV is going to outclass the PlayStation 5 Pro or replace your gaming PC. But what it does mean is that Apple is finally giving the Apple TV the horsepower it needs to play in the gaming space. And that's a big shift. Apple's gaming problem. The library is too small. Here's the catch. Apple has been down this road before, and honestly, it hasn't gone well. Sure, the tvOS App Store has some really good titles. Games like Dead Cells, Grizz, Donut County, and Jackbox Party Packs are genuinely fun, especially if you're playing with friends and family in the living room. But let's be real here. Compared to what you'll find on Xbox, PlayStation, or even Nintendo Switch, the Apple TV's gaming catalog is tiny. And to make things worse, some of the best titles are locked behind Apple Arcade. On iPhone or iPad, you can sometimes just buy these games outright. On Apple TV, you're forced into a subscription, and this creates a problem for developers. They don't want their income tied entirely to Apple's subscription model. So what happens? Many studios don't bother to make games for Apple TV at all. And until that changes, the platform will always feel like an afterthought in the gaming world. The missing piece. First-party accessories. Now. Let's talk about something that's honestly holding the Apple TV back even more than its game library. Controllers. When you buy an Apple TV today, you basically have three first-party options for control: the Siri remote, your iPhone, or your Apple Watch. And while these are fine for navigation, they're terrible for gaming. You can't play something like Dead Cells or Resident Evil Village with a Siri remote. It's just not built for it. Yes, Apple lets you connect third-party controllers like the PlayStation DualSense or the Xbox controller, which is great. But here's the problem. Apple has no official gaming controller of its own. Imagine if Apple made a first-party controller that worked seamlessly across your Apple TV, iPhone, iPad, and even Mac. Imagine if they sold a proper Apple TV gaming bundle in stores. Apple TV plus controller, ready to go. That would instantly change the perception of Apple TV. People would start thinking of it not just as a streamer, but as a true gaming machine. Without that, casual buyers might not even realize Apple TV can play serious games. They'll buy it, open up the App Store, and then get frustrated when games don't work with the Siri remote. That's not a recipe for success. Hardware limitations. The A17 Pro can only go so far. Here's another big challenge: the hardware. For streaming video and music, the Apple TV is flawless. My own 2017 Apple TV still runs YouTube and Disney Plus without a problem. And if you have the 2021 or 2022 versions, you know how buttery smooth everything feels. But gaming? That's where the cracks start to show. The A17 Pro chip is powerful, but it's not invincible. Take Resident Evil Village as an example. On the iPhone 15 Pro, you already have to lower the graphics to make it playable. And that's a 2021 console game. What happens when more demanding titles arrive? The A17 Pro may not be able to keep up. If Apple really wanted to future-proof the new Apple TV, they should have gone with the A18 or even the upcoming A19 chip that's rumored for the iPhone 17. That would have given them a real edge. But by sticking with the A17 Pro, Apple might already be limiting how far this device can go in gaming. Storage woes. 64 GB. Isn't enough. Storage is another serious issue. The base model of the Apple TV still ships with 64 GB of storage, and while that's more than enough for apps and movies, it's nowhere near enough for modern games. Just to put this in perspective, the latest Call of Duty game alone is over 150 GB. That's more than double what the base Apple TV even has. If Apple is serious about making this box a gaming platform, they'll need to start offering 256 GB or even 512 GB models. But here's the problem. Bigger storage means higher prices, and the Apple TV is already more expensive than most streaming devices. You can get a Roku or Fire TV stick for $50 or less. Apple TV starts at $130. If they add high storage options and gaming features, we could be looking at prices over $200. And at that point, casual buyers might just say, why not buy a console instead? The pricing tightrope, streamer or console. And that's the balancing act Apple is facing. On one side, they need to keep the Apple TV affordable enough to appeal to people who just want a premium streaming box. On the other side, if they really want to compete with consoles, they need more power, more storage, and better accessories, all of which drive up the price. So what will Apple do? That's the million-dollar question. What to expect? September 2025. Reveal all eyes are now on September 2025, when Apple is expected to officially unveil the next Apple TV 4K. And here's what I think. If Apple doesn't show us some serious moves toward gaming, like a bigger library, official accessories, and maybe even bundles, then we'll know for sure. Apple TV will stay what it's always been, the best streaming box on the market, but nothing more. But if Apple surprises us, if they finally invest in gaming and position the Apple TV as a genuine alternative to consoles like the Nintendo Switch, then the entire conversation changes. Suddenly, Apple TV could be the device in your living room that does it all: streaming, music, and yes, real gaming. Imagine if Apple made a first-party controller that worked seamlessly across your Apple TV, iPhone, iPad, and even Mac. Imagine if they sold a proper Apple TV gaming bundle in stores. Apple TV plus controller, ready to go. That would instantly change the perception of Apple TV. People would start thinking of it not just as a streamer, but as a true gaming machine. Without that, casual buyers might not even realize Apple TV can play serious games. They'll buy it, open up the App Store, and then get frustrated when games don't work with the Siri remote. That's not a recipe for success. Hardware limitations. The A17 Pro can only go so far. Here's another big challenge: the hardware. For streaming video and music, the Apple TV is flawless. My own 2017 Apple TV still runs YouTube and Disney Plus without a problem. And if you have the 2021 or 2022 versions, you know how buttery smooth everything feels. But gaming? That's where the cracks start to show. The A17 Pro chip is powerful, but it's not invincible. Take Resident Evil Village as an example. On the iPhone 15 Pro, you already have to lower the graphics to make it playable. And that's a 2021 console game. What happens when more demanding titles arrive? The A17 Pro may not be able to keep up. Final thoughts and audience hook. So now, the big question is for you. Do you think Apple should actually push the Apple TV into gaming territory? Or should they stay focused on keeping it a premium streamer for movies, TV, and music? Would you pay $200 or more for a powerful Apple TV that doubles as a gaming machine? Or would you rather just buy a PlayStation or Xbox? Let me know what you think in the comments, because this could be the most important Apple TV update in years. And if Apple plays its cards right, it might finally give us the Apple TV we've always wanted.